Welcome to a new Daily Top Askreddit video. Today's topic: Americans of Reddit, would you vote for an openly atheist presidential candidate? Why or why not? Sure, if I agreed with their policy. I don't care what a candidate's religion is unless they're inflicting it on others. You are a hammer and hit the nail right on the head. Which is too bad because I refuse to vote for a hammer for president. Asking Reddit if they'd vote for an atheist. I feel like the answer would be obvious. Americans of Reddit, would you vote for a Star Wars fan who hecky loves doggos? Easy, they're extremist. Better an open atheist than a fake Christian. One Kopka streamer once said, it's better to be an unbeliever than a shitty believer. After that, everything finally fell into place for me. There's some passage in the Bible that says pretty much the same thing. Lukewarm was the adjective used. I wouldn't not vote for someone just because they were atheist. This is it. If they're running on platforms I support with a history to back up those campaign promises, I don't care if they belong to the Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster. They could literally be a member of the Satanic Temple and I, an actual practicing Christian, would give less shits than a constipated sloth. Sloths take a shit about once a week and lose roughly 30% of their body mass doing so. I mean, I'm an atheist, so that's not exactly a deal breaker for me. Here's the problem, it's not folks on Reddit that an atheist candidate would have to win over. Yes, for the same reasons I'd vote for a woman or someone not white, because I agree with their platform and believe they could competently perform the job. Not an American, but interestingly, according to this survey, over 1,006 people from 2007, being atheist was the worst thing you could be as a candidate, of the things asked, with only 45% of people saying they'd vote for one. I mean, they didn't even bother putting Muslim on the poll, so there's that. I wonder what would have happened though if they separated married 3 times into male and female candidates. El Mayo Muslim would have broken the tools. I agree. I think Reddit has an overabundance of atheists, which leads us to think it's not that big of a deal. But most Americans firmly believe in a higher power, even if they aren't super aligned with a particular religion. A lot of American voters find atheists to be off-putting or offensive. Atheism threatens the lifestyle of many people in this country, especially politicians. The problem is that high-profile atheists like Dawkins, Hitchens, and Harris are all such insufferable arrogant twats that they shot the whole new atheism movement in the foot. I'm an atheist too, but I have a very live and let live attitude about it. Those guys, and they're all guys, not coincidentally, only seem to care about #twig religious people. A lot of voters find them off-putting or offensive because they are. Their religion, or lack thereof, does not factor into my voting at all. I have a pretty big problem with politicians who want to force their religion on other people. Same, also. I have a problem with people pretending to be religious, cough Trump cough, when they literally know nothing about the religion and clearly don't practice it. My man, this is Reddit. Makes no difference to me. I'm baffled by people who judge a political candidate by his religious beliefs. Separation of church and state, people. This is 2022. Would you vote for a Scientologist? Good point. I would not. Scientology is a cult though. Far too often a politician's religious beliefs inform their politics. Even if church and state are properly separate, some politicians will push religious agendas. Amy Coney Barrett has entered the chat, I see. Religious beliefs often inform moral beliefs, which in turn frequently drive political beliefs. Invoking separation of church and state in this case is a waste of breath. The people on the ballot for are often, obviously, either incapable of, or unwilling to, separate the two. Some actively campaign on a refusal to do so. Failing to account for that fact is somewhere between naive, ignorant, and blisteringly stupid. Yes, and this is the moral argument for atheist candidates. With an atheist, you've, presumably, got a science-based, humanistic approach to ethics. There's no because someone told me to, or on faith or the voice of God. Which is where all the wonky shit comes in. Give me a candidate who will go evidence-based all the way. Evidence-based solutions actually work, or at least get us closer to the real solution. Only atheists should be president. This is the exact same problem as saying that only Christians should be president. How about you vote for someone based on their policies rather than their religion? Edit, it appears that I have opened Pandora's box. If you are reading this, the atheists have already found me. All that stands between me and the wrath of Reddit is Jesus holding a Kalashnikov. Because Christian politicians use their religion to form their policies. From an atheist's perspective, if someone can be led to believe wholeheartedly in supernatural forces, how can their judgment be trusted on anything? This is the exact same problem as saying that only Christians should be president. Atheism is not a belief, atheism has no dogma. But some Christians have some very strong beliefs, and by definition, they have to abide by dogma, which regularly shapes their policies. I would prefer an openly atheist presidential candidate because religion is outdated and illogical. Admitting they are an atheist would be considered political suicide in this country, thus I'm sure I've voted for plenty of atheists already, and I probably would again as long as I agreed with their policies. As someone who doesn't believe in any higher power anyways, yes of course, definitely. I'll vote for whichever candidate has political beliefs that align with my own and who I believe will help to bring positive progress into this country regardless of their religion or lack thereof. Christian here. Yup. Separation of church and state. No place for religion in politics. Define openly atheist. If they are anything like the schlubs over at /r/atheism who are atheists second and assholes first, then number. If they're just atheist and aren't dicks. Yeah, sure, why not? I'm not an atheist for similar reasons as Bertrand Russell, but I still read r/atheism, and it is fine, often good. Assholes show up now and then, but they seem to be the rarity. I stopped reading them a while back. They had good posts, pointing out religious hypocrisy, but most of the posts were neckbeard circle jerks of how religion is for ignorance. Yes. Religion doesn't belong in politics. We were not founded as a Christian nation. Yes, because I'm not voting for a pastor, I'm voting for a president. Yo op, put this in r/polls. People on Reddit are not representative. At all. Yes, I would, so long as they abide by both freedom of and from religion. If that was their only platform, then no, because I need some idea of what the hell you're actually going to do in office, and atheist tells me very little. If they had a coherent platform I agreed with, then sure, why not? I wish Supreme Court justices were atheists. Hell yeah, religion is a sickness. Sure. Because this is supposed to be America, where one of our rights is freedom of religion. So the government shouldn't have any involvement with any religions. Yeah, that went out the window in the 1950s when we added "In God We Trust" on our money and added "Under God" to the Pledge of Allegiance. The Red Scare really pushed that Christianity equals American. And now half of those same people, that grew up in the Cold War and want more politics in religion, praise Putin as a strong leader. It's mind-boggling. And that is going out of the window because the older generation and extremists are using religion as a weapon. https://religion/2021/12/14. Sure, Christians are still the majority, but it's plummeting fast and will continue to do so as long as extremists wield it like a weapon. Yeah, it's none of my business. We have freedom of religion here, and for me that includes freedom of lack of religion. As long as he treats the various religions in this country with respect despite his lack of beliefs, then I don't see a problem. Edit, or she. We have freedom of religion here. While this is obviously a well-established fact, there's a not insignificant segment of the US population that believes that this concept was intended to mean any Christian religion. And freedom from religion, which is the most important part IMO. Yes. An atheist would be in the plus column for me. 100% would be a plus. We need more realists in leadership roles. Removed. Yes, because I DC about religious beliefs, I care about what their plans would be to improve things. Definitely. I mean, Trump won. People stupid enough to vote for Trump are stupid enough to believe he's a Christian. It didn't bother them at all that he couldn't answer the question, "What's your favorite Bible passage?" But he held up a Bible at a church once. Yeah. Right after pepper spraying some peaceful protesters. You shouldn't base your vote based on a person's religious beliefs. Even if the religious values are inconsistent with the governance you want. It can be an important clue as to how they would make decisions, as we have seen time and again. I wouldn't vote purely on religious beliefs, but atheist candidates are preferential to religious candidates because they are more likely to value science and the material world over an outdated piece of fiction. I would rather have an openly atheist president than a president who claims to be Catholic while at the same time opposing Catholic beliefs. If you are referring to Biden, you do realize he's actually doing what a president should: put their religion aside. Separation of church and state. No religion should be upheld by the government. Catholics, we will force you to give birth at gunpoint like cattle and then rape your children. I actually prefer Catholicism to evangelical morons, but it's all deeply evil. Hell yeah. Someone who is intelligent and honest. Lol, an atheist's lack of religious belief doesn't inherently make them intelligent or honest. Hardline atheists are just as culty as religious fundamentalists. As a side effect of religious fundamentalists existing in the first place,